A whisper to the reader. There is no character, howsoever good and fine, but it can be destroyed by ridicule, howsoever poor and witless. Observe the ass, for instance. His character is about perfect. He is the choicest spirit among all the humbler animals. Yet see what ridicule has brought him to. Instead of feeling complimented when we are called an ass, we are left in doubt. Pudd'nhead Wilson's Calendar. A person who is ignorant of legal matters is always liable to make mistakes when he tries to photograph a court scene with his pen. And so I was not willing to let the law chapters in this book go to press without first subjecting them to rigid and exhausting revision and correction by a trained barrister, if that is what they are called. These chapters are right now in every detail, for they were rewritten under the immediate eye of William Hicks, who studied law part of a while in southwest Missouri 35 years ago, and then came over here to Florence for his health, and is still helping for exercise and board in Macaroni Vermicelli's horse feed shed, which is up the back alley as you turn around the corner out of the Piazza del Duomo, just beyond the house where that stone that Dante used to sit on 600 years ago is let into the wall when he let on to be watching them build Giotto's Campanile, and yet always got tired looking as soon as Beatrice passed along on her way to get a chunk of chestnut cake to defend herself with in case of a Ghibelline outbreak before she got to school. At the same old stand where they sell the same old cake to this day. And it is just as light and good as it was then, too. And this is not flattery, far from it. He was a little rusty on his law, but he rubbed up for this book, and those 2 or 3 legal chapters are right and straight now. He told me so himself. Given under my hand this 2nd day of January 1893 at the Villa Viviani, village of Settignano, 3 miles back of Florence, on the hills. The same certainly affording the most charming view to be found on this planet, and with it the most dreamlike and enchanting sunsets to be found in any planet, or even in any solar system, and given, too, in the swell room of the house, with the busts of Seratani senators and other grandees of this line looking approvingly down upon me, as they used to look down upon Dante, and mutely asking me to adopt them into my family, which I do with pleasure, for my remotest ancestors are but spring chickens compared with these robed and stately antiques, and it will be a great and satisfying lift for me, that 600 years will. Mark Twain. Chapter 1. Pudd'nhead Wins His Name. Tell the truth or trump, but get the trick. Pudd'nhead Wilson's Calendar. The scene of this chronicle is the town of Dawson's Landing, on the Missouri side of the Mississippi, half a day's journey per steamboat below St. Louis. In 1830 it was a snug little collection of modest 1- and 2-story frame dwellings, whose whitewashed exteriors were almost concealed from sight by climbing tangles of rose vines, honeysuckles, and morning glories. Each of these pretty homes had a garden in front, fenced with white palings, and opulently stocked with hollyhocks, marigolds, touch-me-nots, prince's feathers, and other old-fashioned flowers, while on the window-sills of the houses stood wooden boxes containing moss-rose plants and terracotta pots in which grew a breed of geranium whose spread of intensely red blossoms accented the prevailing pink tint of the rose-clad house front like an explosion of flame. When there was room on the ledge outside of the pots and boxes for a cat, the cat was there, in sunny weather, stretched at full length, asleep and blissful, with her furry belly to the sun and a paw curved over her nose. Then that house was complete, and its contentment and peace were made manifest to the world by this symbol, whose test...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?